Great.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual Narcon 2024 Manufacturers Forum. I'm Bob Sanford. I'll be your moderator tonight. We have 14 presenters tonight representing 14 different companies. We have some first timers on here and some new folks you may not have heard of. So please give them your undivided attention. I will be moving from the East Coast to the West Coast as best I can with my limited geography knowledge. And so don't worry if we get a little out of sync here. So we'll start out on the East Coast. And I'd like to start off. Ray, are you ready? Pliskets?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Ray,
right.
before we get started, I just want to ask everybody if you'd like to, under view, if you make sure to click on speaker view, not gallery view, you'll be able to, the screen will explode with the person that's currently presenting. Go ahead, Ray.
Okay. Great. Get my timer going. So I just want to jump right into it. Here at Flisskits, we're doing a few different things. We're still reintroducing some of the kits that Jim had put out some time ago and discontinued. And we are still introducing some new things, and we're still looking forward to some things in the future. So with that, I just want to show at the beginning, we reintroduced the Paylord. So it's a 3-motor, 18mm cluster, clear payload tube. Took us a while to get this one going, but we reintroduced it sometime middle of the year, and that's now on the website for sale. We also, a few years ago, actually, I think at this very forum, maybe probably more than that years ago, I showed a kit called the Radio Velocity that we intended to introduce a few months later, and it took us well over a year to get it done. We did get it done. This is it for the first time showing you on the line a painted version of it. So there's 9 strakes and 3 fins and a ring. It's really cool and complex. This one is a 29mm. That's how we're selling it. Although I do have a 38 built as a test article. We will be flying that a few times this summer. And if that goes well, we'll probably sell a 38mm version of it as well. But this, we've flown it up as high as a relatively small H motor a few times. Flies very well. With that kind of a motor with the 38, I think we can probably go even higher than that. And eventually we'll stop and let you guys take over on doing some super high power if you really want to. When we got that done, we also did, I needed to do, how should I put this? I wanted to do another kit for educational purposes that'd be simple, relatively simple to build and easy, and a little durable. So I went to the Flisskits parts bin and came up with this ring-tailed thing here. It's got 5 joining fins. A ring is black. Sorry, I can't really see too much. I'll show you another one in a minute. And we did a few scout troops and whatnot with it. Then I made a whole bunch of different longer versions of it, and we eventually settled on this one. We call it the Tachyon. We finally put it on the website very, very late in the year, so it's out there now. And again, it's a very simple kit. Tachyon, for anyone who doesn't know, theoretical, faster than the speed of light subatomic particle. And we named it that once we stuck a D21 in it. And you can imagine what something that light went off the pad looked like. It pretty much hit the button, then it vanished. Came back, a long streamer, we found it, and we have that as a kit for sale now. Once we did that, then I started really thinking, okay, well, that same ring and the same 5 fins on a BT50, I can make a bunch of different versions like that. And so then I came up with a series of other ones. They've got transitions, which are shrouds. They've got smaller tubes joining other pieces. And what I decided to do was to make a whole series of these. And they will come out in the course of this year. They all have the same basic architecture of the ring fin with the 5 fins. And this is going to be what we're going to call the subatomic particle series, right? So for those of you who know the standard model, there's a whole bunch of them. These are the first round of them. There's 5 of them. They are the bosons. So we've got the Higgs, the gluon, the photon, the Z boson, and the W boson. This little one here is probably going to wind up being a 13 millimeter, just to have one in the fleet. And then this one here, the last one of them, 3 adjoining tubes and the streamers in the upper part, so it's a ducted situation there. So we will introduce them relatively soon, and we will probably, very likely, sell them as a set of 5. So you would buy the whole 5. The original Tachyon will keep as an independent rocket, just kind of because. And then we also started thinking down the lines when we had done the payload. We said, okay, what can we do? So we started doing some just basic prototyping. We took the ring fins off the long overdue, stuck a similar situation on the top part to the other rocket. And then we put inside there a button battery powered set of lights, so you could use it as a night flyer. When we built that one, then we decided, well, as long as we're going to do something like that, what would a bigger one look like? So we have this gigantic thing. And this one here, at least in its test configuration, is a 3-motor cluster as well, with 3 large tube fins, sort of stolen from the U.S. TOG. But that's another idea that we have that we're thinking about coming out with in the coming year. But we thought once we had the balsa parts sorted out for the clear plastic adapter tubes, then we figured we'd put some lights in it, and then we'd do something with it. So exactly what is yet to be determined, but we're doing some test flying with that in the last few months. And that's it for this round. I don't want to go too much into lots of other things, because I want to try to actually deliver this year some of the things that we show, which has been a bit of a problem for us.
Anyone have questions for Ray here? Not. Okay, guess not. Okay, Ray. Thank you much, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay. Andy, are you awake there?
Hey, Bob.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Ready?
The floor is yours.
Okay. Greetings from lovely Lake Placid, Florida, the Caladium capital of the world and the city in the country with the highest per capita population of clowns. I'm Andy Jackson from Aerospace Specialty Products. Many people simply refer to us as ASP, ASP, and I'm glad to say that next year will be our 30th year in continuous business. If you're not familiar with ASP, we specialize in scale, competition, and educational bulk pack kits, and most everything that you need to go with them. We have scale kits from Micromax up to 29 and 38 millimeter. We'll get more into that in a little bit. We also have competition kits and supplies, quarter mil parachute kits, pre-cut canopies, pre-cut G10 fins, and a lot more there for your competition flyers. Our line of educational kits, we do simple kits aimed at schools, scout groups, summer camps, and so forth. Our Theta line and our Neo line have been very popular. Our Neo Standard and our Theta 18, we've had a lot of schools and scout groups and such that have used those same kits year after year, so obviously they're working for them. We've also got a good selection of components for primarily low and mid power, tubes, centering rings, cones, so forth and so on, recovery devices, engines, launch equipment, adhesives, and a lot more on the website. Our newest kit, which just came out a couple of weeks ago, is another in our line of the Neo kits aimed at the beginner, but this is a little bit bigger and a little bit more complex than, say, the basic. So if you've got modelers or students that are looking for something that's a little bit more of a challenge, but still a fairly easy build, I think this is a good model. You've got laser cut balsa fins, a balsa nose cone, a nice clear plastic payload section. You can put an altimeter or whatever in there. Comes with it's a 24 millimeter motor mount, and we call this the Neo Mighty, as it's designed around basically the mighty D12 engine. You can certainly fly it with a C11. You can put an adapter in there, fly it with composite or black powder Cs or composite C and Ds from like Quest. Or if you have a lot of space, you can actually put a composite E in this if you can think you can get it back. Coming soon, hopefully this next month, we will be doing a very small run of what most people call is our Big Whack kit. This is a kit that's been around for quite a few years. It's 2.6 inch diameter, big balsa nose cone, balsa boat tail, through the wall fins. It's a plywood core with built up balsa on the sides, so you're not having to shape a big honking piece of ply. I do make you cut your own slots. Get over it. It's called building a model. But this has been a popular kit for us for quite a few years. It'll fly well on anything from like an F and up. It does come with a 38 millimeter mount. Also, there's an adapter that comes with it for 29 millimeter. If you're only going to fly 29 millimeter, you can also put that in permanently if you prefer. Now, if you're interested in these, like I said, it's going to be a very small run. Hopefully we will have it next month, but I suggest you sign up for a mailing list, which you should do anyway, because the mailing list members will be the first to know when this is released on the date and the time. So if you want to sign up for the mailing list or go to the website is asp-rocketry.com. And to sign up for the mailing list, you go up to the top, click on e-news, or if you're on a mobile device, there's the little lines across the top. You click on that, that'll come up. It's beginning to sound like a Progressive commercial. You can also follow us on Facebook if you're on there at Asp Rocketry, as well as Instagram at Asp Rocketry. And this year for NARCON viewers and attendees, we are going to be offering a little discount code through February. Cleverly named NARCON 10 and NARCON 15. 10 will get you 10% off on an order of merchandise up to $100. Over $100 of merchandise, NARCON 15 will get you 15% off. There's a couple of restrictions on that. That's not good on bulk pack kits because they're already discounted, not good on Jolly Logic products, and it will not be good on the Big Whack kit. That's it. We'll keep it short and sweet. I want to thank everybody for following us and being behind us for like almost 3 decades going on now, and I hope we can still keep and get your business and service you as best we can. Thanks.
Welcome. Andy, is that nose cone solid balsa?
Solid balsa, yes.
Okay, super. Thank you,
All
Andy.
the specs on that kit are on the website. So if you're
Excellent.
interested, you can go ahead and take a look at it.
Okay. All right, next. Thank you, Andy. Next,
All right, thanks, Bob.
Okay. I'd like to introduce a person some of us probably haven't heard of. He has a company called J&H Aerospace. Joshua Finn. Josh, you up there somewhere?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on. Gotta find you here. Lost you. Lost you. Where'd you go?
You can find me in my wife's office. I've taken it over and filled it up with rockets. This is her shipping central territory.
Okay. All right. There you are. Okay. So yeah, we could co-host and away we go. Please proceed.
All right. I've got my clock started here, so hopefully we'll keep this short and simple. So I'm Josh Finn from J&H Aerospace. J&H stands for Josh and Hope. because we couldn't think of anything better when we started the company. This was started kind of on a whim, almost 10 years ago. And we had a YouTube channel where we were showing our model airplane activities, and some folks came along and did a video about us. And next thing I know, I've got people clamoring from all over the world. Well, can you make a kit for that? So I hate to just jump straight back in, but I'm going to make this really quick so we can move along because my time's been eaten.
No, you
Uh,
can take your time you need, Josh. Take the time you need.
Well, fair enough. So to skip past the history, since we got interrupted from that, I'm just going to tell you, J&H Aerospace makes rocket-powered gliders. That's our rocket-powered side of things. And we are focused on trying to increase the number of participants in that section of the hobby and trying to educate young people and adults in predominantly fixed wing flying, although fixed wing would be a little bit of a stretch in that many of our rockets are variable geometry. So we've tried to bring kits to the market that are able to deliver on those flight parameters, both on the educational level with simple things like this, which is a glider that builds from one sheet of wood. The entire airplane comes from one sheet of wood, including the fittings on the boost pod. And by the way, in addition to the kit for this, there are free plans for it on our website. This is called a one-sheet glider or a one-sheet rocket. And you can, in addition to the kit, you can actually download the plans and build it from scratch. But we go from everything from that to true variable geometry, which is our swing wings. And one of the things that I like about the way that we cooked these up, it was something I was interested in the very beginning before I was making kits, is I don't do burn strings. So all of our deployments are based on the ejection charge activating something up in the nose cone. So that is one of the distinctives on our systems. And we have everything from very small. This is a Micromax. Yeah, I know that happened instantly. These do teleport kind of from their launch configuration to their deployment very, very much instantaneously. We've got one, I didn't bring it in here, that it's a flying wing. It folds in half, it launches up as looking like a stick. Up at the top, it suddenly becomes a flying wing and floats off into the distance. We have, as we're moving forward, we're trying to develop more FAI type rockets because there's been a challenge to try to improve the participation at the FAI level. So we have this aircraft as our current FAI rocket glide design, and this is a single pivot. So the one I just showed you a minute ago, this is a traditional swing wing. It has two pivots, one for each wing. This is a single pivot. So there is one axle. The way that we get away with that and still have dihedral so that it's stable is that this wing is actually hinged over here. So this is an asymmetrical rocket. We do have more normal things like these boost gliders. This is the Aletta R. Some of you who go to NARAM will be familiar because this was I believe it was the Division B national champion this past year. So these things do win competitions if you can keep them around. They get lost very easily. Behind me, I know that looks small compared to my head, but that is a over 20-inch span rocket. That's the largest free flight rocket that we make, and it's about 3 feet long. It's called a Windlance D, and so we make the Windlance everything from micro-sized to that back there, and just to prove to you, it really is that much bigger. We also have moving kind of a slightly different direction. We have boost gliders and rocket gliders that have a different party trick. So this is, by all appearances, a traditional boost glider, except it is radio controlled. And this is only a 12-inch span. You can literally launch this on half-A engines, and it will launch high enough that you can go catch thermals with it and fly it around. And basically, you're limited by the endurance of the battery if you're skilled at flying RC gliders. Now, I will mention one thing that's very important for all of you potential customers out there. Don't try to learn radio control on a rocket. You will destroy it. You'll get frustrated. I've had a couple customers who have kind of not listened to that and have tried, and they found out that, yeah, you should go back, get a trainer. Trainers are available from Horizon Hobby or some outfit like that, and you can learn on that. And then you move over to the rockets, and you know, a boost glider like this, you don't have to steer it on the way up. We also do have true rocket gliders, swing wings that are radio controlled, and those are pretty easy to fly as well. But I do have a separate line, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually share my screen real quick so I can just show you some pictures, because I can't show these on camera because they're too big. Actually, I don't. You'll have to, one of y'all will have to enable screen sharing for me.
That I did. Hang on, let me do it again. Yep.
I think when I logged out, it disabled it, or when
Okay.
it kicked me out.
Try it now.
All right, let's, and let's see here. Hopefully that is sharing correctly now. I can't really tell if it is. Can y'all see the presentation I've got up here?
Yep, we got it.
Yep.
Okay.
We're good.
So we're on my little radio control blurb here. And so these the two designs down there at the bottom, the Evo Fire and the Fire Feather, those are pure rocket powered sailplanes. So they're fully aerobatic. The Evo Fire is a 1.5 meter, so that's a 5-foot wingspan. It's designed for 24 millimeter motors. And then the Fire Feather is an 18 millimeter design. You can put an electric motor on the front of the Fire Feather. We have launched it with the motor installed up front, and so you can do kind of composite flying. I've got a video of the Evo Fire doing, since it is a discus launch glider, we took them out, put lights in them, flew them at night. So we're hand launching these, and they launch high enough to meet the NAR air start standards just from a hand launch. And so we're hand launching these up at night and firing them 500 feet up in the air. It's absolutely beyond spectacular. So if you're a radio control flyer, these are the type of aircraft that are made for you. They are complex builds. They're traditional radio control airplanes, but I'm gonna throw those out there. Those are the premier RC rocket gliders from a performance perspective. And that I also want to be very clear. I'm a huge fan of dinosaur rocketry. I know Frank, I can see Frank over there. So I do not mean that as an affront. His products are also awesome. I own several. But if you're flying competition style, these are the types of aircraft you would look for. For sport flying, go look at Frank's. His are easier to fly, I will say that, from the forefront. But we've specialized in the performance rockets. So I believe I have consumed way too much time. Now the question is, let's see here. I think I
Quick,
can stop
price on the
sharing that.
Evo Fire and Fire Feather?
Yes. So the Evo Fire is $200, and the Fire Feather is $70.
Hey, Josh.
They are, again, they are traditional kits. You have to supply your radio gear. We do have the list of what you need to complete them.
Hey, Josh, do you have any issues with the FAA regulations concerning those bigger gliders?
So the Evo Fire is pushing up against that limit. The Fire Feather is a non-issue. It's like it's less than half of the FAA restriction there. We live kind of in a weird gray area on the FAA restrictions since it's a rocket. Nobody's been able to give me a clear definition of where we fall on that. But you would be per the current once it becomes a thing, the FAA remote ID, if you're into that type of thing. I'm not gonna get too far into that here. That's a rabbit hole of all sorts of a mess.
Just remember, everyone, that we have rocket rules for gliders, and the FAA has already told us that we have rocket rules for our gliders. They have nothing to do with.
Thank you for that tidbit.
So I very much appreciate that comment, but that doesn't stand. If you read through the FAA's rules, if it flies and it's radio controlled, doesn't matter how it's boosted up there, you gotta have beacons.
Hey, hang on, folks. Let's not get into that. Okay. All right, Josh, you all done there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move right along as soon as I can find him. Let's go with the Creators Laboratory, Brendan Sir-Usko. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't
We
see
can hear you. We don't see you.
Yeah, the camera is not cooperating. So what I'm going to do is if you can enable me to share my screen, I'll put up some slides and talk to them.
All right. Yeah, hang on. Give me a second here. You should be able to put up, share your screen now.
Okay, sharing. Here we go. Let's see if this works. Okay. Are the slides visible?
No.
Not yet.
There we go.
There we go.
There, we got it.
Okay. A little shifting around here so I can see. Okay. All right. So thank you everyone for taking the time to listen to me. I'm coming to you from the Baltimore, Washington area, where we have exceedingly painful restrictions for flying objects, as I'm sure you can appreciate. So the Creators Laboratory was intended to build or to provide the community with electronics that I thought would be useful for a variety of things. Most of the stuff that I have are Arduino-based flight computers, or generalized computers, really, that can be used for a variety of different things. So, for example, I have them in my level 3 kit, but I also put one into a weather station that I sent down to Antarctica. So you can take a look at these products that we have available on the website and use them for a whole litany of things, but I'm going to go through 4 of them that are on here and then tell you about some other services and things that I've got coming up. So the first one that I want to talk about is the standard Liberty SBC single board computer, the Mark I Mod 0. This has an Arduino on board. It's 5 volt, 16 megahertz. So if you're familiar with the Arduino ecosystem for coding, you can plug this in and start running right away. If you're not familiar with it, I strongly encourage you to go look it up because it is exceedingly easy to get started doing pretty sophisticated stuff. So with this particular computer, you can mount an Altus Metrum Easy Mini altimeter on it. And I posted the code so that you can read the trigger signals coming off of that and then have your code execute events based on the trigger signals that come off of the Altus Metrum. So you could, as you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner there, I have a quick demo that will actuate a servo. I've got another demo. It's not pictured here, but it will actuate your own pyros, custom pyros, if you want to, for deployments of whatever your shoots are and so on. It's fairly small. It's got a buzzer on board. It's got a bunch of I/Os. You can add other things to it if you want to turn things on and off, start cameras, stop cameras, that kind of thing, read sensors. And it's got A to D on there. So if you have some analog stuff that you want to read, you can do that as well. So the next product is a twofold part. It's called the Liberty SBC Micro, or the Micro Pro. So this one's a little bit smaller. It's about half the size of the previous one that I mentioned. It runs on a lower voltage, more compact, but it's much more sophisticated in the sense that it has, if you go with the Pro version, it has an onboard SD card. So you have several gig worth of space that you can record information to. It also has an onboard barometer, so you can get air pressure measurements. It has an onboard 6 degree of freedom motion sensor. So 3 gyros, 3 accelerometers. And it has the same I/O as the previous one. So you get a bunch of IO that you can use for your own events, as well as a bunch of analog to digital converters on board so that you can record things if you're interested in doing your own types of sensors, and a buzzer. So I put the buzzers on there because, as you know, we're always looking for our stuff in the grass. With the buzzers, you can put out your own unique pattern of beeps, so you could follow the sound of your pattern to your rocket in the distance, as opposed to somebody else's rocket that might be having a regular commercial beep on board. The Liberty Micro comes in two variants. One of them doesn't have the sensors on board; it's just a straight up computer with the screw terminals on it, so that you can use it for even more custom applications if you want to do your own stuff and don't want to pay the extra for the sensors that are on it. Then I have a very tiny version, which is basically the Pro, the Liberty Micro Pro, only it's called the Nano in this case. Has the SD card on board, and it has the sensors on board, but it doesn't have the screw terminal. So this would be like your black box. You can write your own custom code, or you can pull down the code example that I have on the website, and you can do motion recording, air pressure change recording, that sort of thing. Coming up, which I'll discuss in a little bit, I've got another board coming out that will mount to this, that will give you some peripherals, so you can do lighting if you would like to do that. Write your own code to do some custom lighting. All right. So the first lighting product that's out there right now and available is a little micro beacon. So we all know how hard things are to see when they get far away and they get really tiny, as well as when they land on the ground. So I have created this very tiny strobe that's a very bright LED that pulses, that you can mount to whatever platform you want to, or whatever project you want to. It pulses about once a second. It'll run down on a fairly low voltage, as you can see there, so you should be able to run it on a LiPo. And it just keeps pulsing a very bright flashing light to help you to spy it in the sky, or if it lands on the ground. This would be particularly interesting at night. And one of the products that I'm hoping to get out and available over the next few weeks is translucent nose cones. So you can put this or a colored version of this inside the nose cone, so that your nose cone will actually illuminate throughout the flight. And if you pair that with the Nano and write some code, you can get the accelerometers to trip color changes based on what's going on with the rocket. Okay. So other things that I've got on board, if you are just generally interested in electronics, I have some USB to serial dongles. I know those are very commonly used for a lot of the microcontrollers, especially the Arduinos. They allow some of the products that don't already have USB capability to be connected to a regular laptop. Of my products, all of them already have USB on board, except for the standard Liberty single board computer. I've also got some 3D printed objects. I know this is a space community. If any of you enjoy CubeSats, I have a CubeSat model that you can print for yourself and load with your own electronics if you want to. And it has a 2-axis gimbal setup, so you can sit on your desk and spin it around in 2-axis and play with motion sensors if you'd like to, or if you've got other things that you want to try out for your little CubeSat on your desk. It gives you some ability to do something other than have it just sit there and be a software testbed. All right, what's coming soon? So as I said, illuminated nose cone. So I have a really interesting design that has a nose cone concept where you can mount a Nano fully self-contained in the nose cone with power switches, and then the nose cone itself is translucent. It screws onto the base. So you can either program it to, or you can either set it up with the strobe inside for just a white flashing light, or you can set it up with the Nano, so you have basically a black box in your nose cone plus the color LED setup that you can put up in the nose cone, so that you can get different colors according to what's going on if you want to. The Nano board will come out as well to let you mount to that Nano to get you that expanded capability to run the color lights, the programmable color LEDs that are coming. I also have a quick disconnect, electronic disconnect. So this is something to watch the magazine for. I have put together a smart high-powered rocketry using a bunch of these products. And what it essentially is a Hyperlock 300 that has a Pro Mini in the electronics bay, where you can do a bunch of data recording there. It'll have the illuminated nose cone on it, but I also used one of these interstage electrical connectors that I've got set up to pipe the data from a string of temperature sensors mounted to the motor mount up to be recorded by the electronics bay. So it'll allow a real-time collection of the heating profile of the motor tube while the burn is taking place. And then once the ejection charge takes place, it allows instant separation of the electrical connection going to the electronics bay without any drama. And then you'll have your data recorded when you get back, so you can see how the length of the motor tube heated over time. And then sensors. So as much as I put the sensors on some of these boards, I'm going to make some of them available independently. A magnetometer and a humidity sensor will be available as independent items if you'd like to do a little environmental sensing of your own, as well as some of the temperature sensors.
Yeah.
Okay. Services. So I know this is always a big one. If you're interested in having your own stuff fabricated, I'm happy to do some custom designs for you for circuit boards if you want just a one-off for yourself, or if you'd like a small batch run. Depending on the complexity of it will depend on how many I can run for you at a time. But if you're interested in any of that, you can go ahead and contact me. I'll put contact information up in a second. 3D printing, if you'd like small batches printed, I'm happy to entertain doing something like that. And if you just want the CAD designs done, I can certainly assist with that. And then I have some light material CNC capability. So for example, for my level 3, I'm putting together an SM2 model, and the fins are approximately 48 inches long for the sidewall fins. So I can do some fairly large shapes depending on how they need to be cut. So if anybody needs anything done, I'm happy to entertain trying to cut something out for you in wood or plastic or any other light materials.
Okay, Brendan, anything else?
Nope, that's all. There's
Okay.
the contact info@thecreatorslaboratories.com. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. All righty here. Okay. Hey, Rick Randall, you out there somewhere?
Yes, I'm here, Bob.
Okay. There you are. Let's make you co-host. All right, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Bob. I'm Rick Randall, New Wave Space Models, mostly known as the Square Rocket Guy. I first want to just touch on the state of square rocketry. Unfortunately, the tube company that made the square tubes made a batch of tubing for me that I wasn't happy with, and I complained. And they asked for samples of what I was expecting, and I sent them samples. And they, through an email, said, well, we'll refund your money this time, and we'll never do business with you again. So fairly cut and dry. I lost my source for tubing, and I don't have any more tubing. I'm certainly looking for another source of tubing. So the uniqueness of the square rockets is basically on hold for now. And so I'm going to transition into round rocketry. Still going to say new way, even though it's maybe older way. But so I've got some round rocket things that I'm going to be messing with and see how it goes. And I'm still going to try to source square tubes because that was kind of my niche in the whole entire thing. So we'll see what happens. But first off, the one that I'm most excited about and that I've been working on for a really, really long time is the letter Go. There's their logo there. And the fins are made of letters. And we're working on the logistics, but you will be able to choose the letters you want, anywhere from 3 to 6 fins. And it really works better on a round rocket. So this one says New Way on it, if you go around it. And so the letters are laser cut with tabs like this here. And you'll be able to order the rocket with whatever you want within reason. And then you can, they'll look like this with the decals like this and come with these components, but in just the configuration of the number and what the letters you want for the fins. So that one's pretty cool. And then I've got a list of possibles. Again, transitioning into round rockets, nothing similar about round and square rockets when it comes to manufacturing. So this one is a little bit bigger one. This is called 3 of a kind. It's got 3 motors. Just a nice sport rocket, 3 of a kind. And then we've in the world of clones, this is a Bluebird Zero Mini. Most of these are unpainted because they're just been working on them, but that's about half scale probably. And I do have white decals for it though. Then in the real world of clones, the old Estes Terros is one that I'm working on. It's got a 3D printed nose cone, thanks to my brilliant son. And way back in the day when they introduced the Terros in '72 as a cold power rocket, this is a very brief photo, but one photo existed, and it's not like the Terros. It's got 8 fins, much different. This is the only picture in existence of the original Terros, and I thought it'd be fun to include the parts to make either version. So this would be the original version that only existed in that one photo. And there's just a couple extra decals, so you'll be able to build either one, whichever one you want with the clone kit.
Vintage.
And then one that I'm working on is the Estes Scud missile. It just seems like they go for such crazy prices and people want it. It'd be fun to just do it. This is an actual original Estes nose cone. This is a 3D printed version here, but my kid is working on one that's going to be actually even better than this, so that we can be very close to the original. And then got some original ideas. And this one here, we think we're going to call it the Lunar Jumper. And it's just a BT-50 based rocket with some interesting details. We got the little ring at the top there. And then we've got several other things, other models. I also am going to collaborate with a guy on the Rocketry Forum who designs rockets. His name is Neil Weinstock. We're looking at maybe kitting a couple of his designs because, again, new to the round world. And lastly, if in all of the kits going forward in the last few that I had made, I changed the way I did my string for my parachutes. And I just wanted to demonstrate this for people so that they're not confused as to why. This little tab comes in with the string wrapped around it, and there's a hole in it. To easily unwind, you just grab the hole and you pull, and it just unwinds the string. So that's just a little feature that I never mentioned anywhere, but I wanted people to know. And I think that's all I've got right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Move on. Thanks, Rick.
Not a problem.
Okay. All right. Let's move also in the same general area of the country. We got Matt and Randy out there. Gentlemen, you're up. Whoever wants to go first between the two of you.
Hey, throw screen sharing on. We're going to need it. We're going to do Semrock first.
Okay.
And I have a special guest. Boy, I don't see myself. Am I actually there somewhere?
Yeah, I see you.
I like to see myself. Oh, never mind. Hey, every rocket shop, especially a manufacturer, needs to have someone on their staff named Elon. And I finally have somebody on my staff named Elon, and I wanted to introduce you to him. Now, we're a little more desperate in our world. So Elon is here every day. He's litter trained, so he actually walks around the warehouse every day. Very brave. Very brave. Loves people. So anyway, we'll let him loose because he's been in a box for a while. This is our hopper. Segways, right? Segways. This is our hopper. It's the newest kit we've got going on. And it's great rocket for those little girls that need a rocket, little pink feet on him, pink googly eyes. So those are pretty cool. And then, of course, the ears are nice and soft so you can pet your rabbit. The rabbit's powered by 24 millimeter motor. So this one zips right along. All right. I'm just going to zip through some kits that we produce and have produced for a while. The USS Andromeda is back. We got our supply of tubes in finally. The Orbital Transport is one of our most popular kits. Been around for a long time. The Scissor Wing Transport is one of our more popular kits, and it is available. And so this is one of those kits that when the motor ejects out, the blade comes forward and turns it into a glider. So this is one of our most popular kits. The Bluebird Zero, of course, you can't go wrong with that. Cherokee D continues to be available through us. It's also got a little conversion in there so you can fly 18 millimeter motors with it. Most of these have balsa nose cones with them that we actually make right here in Ohio. The Omega has been reworked and is one of our first kits to now include 3D resin printed transitions and nose cones. So that's pretty unique. Fun kit. Farside X is still available. If you like the 3-stage rocket, good way to go. The Old Century Orion is currently available. Some beautiful wraps, beautiful balsa nose cone. Of course, one of my favorites, the Hawk. You love your boost gliders, that's the way to go. Flies on 13 millimeter motors, but you can fly that on 18 millimeter motor, just don't use the pod. And then one of our more recent designs, recent like the last 5 years, is our Jupiter B. It's a little flying saucer, comes pretty flat. But anyway, they're just loads of fun. And by the way, if you haven't tried it and you have one of these, get a second one, they stage beautifully. All right. And of course, one of our latest new kits is the Pro Cherokee, which is a beautiful kit that flies on 29 millimeter motors, great screw-on retainer, comes with the parachute, includes the rail button, so it's all inclusive, stickers by Sticker Shock, and we do have those in stock. All right, scaly stuff. Still doing a lot of scaly stuff. So this is our new Apollo capsule. This is in a BT 70 version. Here's one that's just painted up. It's actually, I noticed the picture on our webpage was wrong, but it's actually a 3-piece. It's the capsule, the entire tower all printed as one piece. Those go together, and then the umbilical gets added in. So there's actually 3 pieces to this guy. And that is brand new, just went on the webpage yesterday. Very strong, very resilient. Yeah, we did a lot of drop testing on it, thinking, how would we let you replace parts if you broke it or something like that? We couldn't really figure out a way. So if you break it, you're probably going to buy a new one. IQSY Tomahawk, one of our popular scale kits. Of course, we carry all of Andy's stuff from ASP. So we're scale central around here anyway. The Arcus, our 1/3 scale Arcus, is currently available. And what do we got left? Oh, the Aero B150. We finally got tubes in to do that. So the Aero B150 is currently available. Send me that yellow thing down there, Matt. Yellow. So that is a rundown of our stuff that we're doing. This is a cool little show piece. It is a spray paint can handle, so you don't have to get your fingers painted. I'm going to sell these for $1 for the next 3 or 4 weeks, just because of Narcon. There's no code because I don't believe in that. It's just going to be $1. So get one while you can. All right. I would like to do share screen.
Quick question, Randy.
Sure.
Mega orbital transport. Is that project dead?
No, it's not dead. I have gone to a program where I am using college students to help me with my design work. And my college students all this year after school did not stay on to help me. So I don't have any engineering people available to help me right now. And that's
Just so the work you put into it isn't wasted. I was hoping you.
no, it's coming. It's coming. I mean, I got the prototype right around the corner here, but I'm not going to show it to you because it gets people excited and I can't deliver until it's perfect. So
Right.
as soon as
But-
we can deliver, we will.
You let me know when you want to get it out.
Pro Bluebird Zero is closer than the orbital transport is, so you'll probably see
Okay.
that sooner.
Glad to hear it's not dead.
It's not dead yet, Jim. Oh, that was. All right, let me see if I can, now I found my screen. Let me see if I can share. Here we go. All right. I have 5,000 items on my webpage, and it's constantly something that people are asking about. How do you find things when you've got 5,000 items? Well, of course, I've got some featured items right up front. You see that new 3D printed nose cone right there. So that is available. Of course, there's always an ad running across the top, and we're discounting.
Wrong screen.
So am I on the wrong screen? I'm not showing my webpage?
We're seeing the Zoom logo.
Oh, that stinks. Let's try again. This is your screen sharing. Stop share.
It
Screen-
started out and then it disappeared.
Oh,
Looked
did
like
it
you were
really?
just on the wrong tab.
That's what I was thinking too, but then I looked and I'm okay. I've got the right tab. Let's see if I can. Okay, do you see my webpage now?
Nope.
Well, nope. Okay, I'm gonna try and close that Zoom tab. That's the problem. And if it kills me, I'm done. And if not, and we'll get Matt back in here.
Oh, we'll go look at your website, sir.
All
No
right, it's
problem.
showing now.
Nope.
Well, I'm gonna close it one more time. And after this, I'm gonna turn it over to Matt. Or I could talk about it. Up at the right-hand upper corner, there's a drop-down menu. We organize our items pretty well for you. So
Randy, couldn't you just open up your website on this tab here?
I am not sure what tab we're actually on.
Narcon 2024.
Yeah, let's see. That's not it, is it?
Yep, I can see. Yep, you're about to.
Yep,
close
that's
that.
the one.
Moving
hit
on
the- hit the
there.
plus
Okay,
button.
Yeah, let's do exactly that, guys.
Hit the plus button. There you go.
Yep. All righty, here we go.
Yeah, we got it.
Beautiful. All right, so you can see here where we've got that 3D printed nose cone, brand new. So we've always got featured items. Hey, I found some Lodestar 2s from Estes. They're long gone. Somebody found these in a warehouse. Please buy them while you can. Mars Lander's out of stock right now, but we're about a week away from having those available again. These are our top kits, and we'll continue to promote those as long as we can. Of course, new products are always listing. I mean, literally every day we've got new items coming in. So how do you really navigate? There's this little 3- thing up in the right-hand corner. You hit that, and then you can go down the menu, and one of our favorite things is parts for rockets, and then hit that little plus, and that will open up more things. Let's pick a nose cone. We hit the plus again, and you can pick whatever size nose cone you want. So let's pick a nose cone for a BT20. We just click on that, and boom, all the nose cones for BT20 are listed. And since we have 5,000 items, there's going to be a lot for you to find. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. The easy way to find things on the eRockets webpage. So give it a shot. eRockets.biz, can't be that hard. Oh, and by the way, if rocketry scares you, get a train set.
Hey, Randy, Steve Crystal,
Greg.
I just
Hey.
want to congratulate you. The work you've put in on making your website easier to navigate is wonderful. It really shows. Thank you. It's much easier to
It
find.
looks great,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Yep, we're working on
Okay,
it.
folks, we've got to move on.
Okay.
And
All right,
Matt-
you want Matt next?
Yes, please. Matt, come on into the frame.
I'm going to do my due diligence and do a screen share. And Matt, you are right there. Share. Man, that one was easier than the last one. Is it showing up?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. There you go, Matt. Great.
Hey gang, Matt Johnson here, Altera Rocketry. Thanks to Narcon and Bob for getting me on board. I really appreciate it. Altera has been selling kits for about 4 years now. And I've got flying kits, decals, parachutes, and of course I've worked on the N1 reference book. Here's the classic N1 exact scale Soviet moon rocket. I've sold about 230 or 35 in the last 3 years. Extremely stable, very popular kit. Sold several this Christmas time. And I decided, seeing how there's been some interest in static models lately, that I would actually sell a static version, which just doesn't have parachute and lead and all that other stuff that costs a little bit of money. So on my website, and of course, everything I have is also on eRockets. I'm on eBay and eRockets. So this is also available on static. Exact scale, same one I've had for 4 years. The other one that's been very popular, I finally got some more nose cones in, is the 1/48 scale Falcon. And of course, that's 1/48 scale with an asterisk because nobody has blueprints, but it's pretty darn close. And I want to make sure it had a good plume. So it has 4 Ds and 1 C, as you can see in that one photograph there, to make a pretty good plume when it takes off. 4 Lexan fins and great kit, about 4 feet long. Then the ever popular cremator. It's on the website for dispersing essential salts. And for those who are interested, it does have 16 decals of your choice when you order it for religion or non-religious purposes. The other one that I've been very, very pleased with this year is the V'ger, and I think it might be for the new 4K version of Star Trek: The Motion Picture that's been floating around. But this is a 1/40,000th scale model. The original ship is 21 kilometers long. I sold 3 or 4 of these this Christmas, so it's been pretty exciting. One thing that people love about this kit is the detail. And as you can see here, this is the model kit that my friend in Indianapolis made. But it does have 14 sheets of laser cut fiberboard, which is basically a giant geometric model kit. But it flies really well on F and G, and has 3 Lexan fins that also serve as a base to stand on. Getting into Randy's side of the deal here, he has Dr. Zook and Dr. Zook's Falcon, and I sell the laser cut detail set that kind of gives it a little more body and a little more decals. So that's also in Randy's location as well. I also have the command service module laser cut wrap that goes on the 1/44th or 200 scale of the Apollo. It just adds a lot more detail to that kit when it's finished. The other thing I have, and again, people who fly either Mercury or Apollo without a launch tower deserve a special place in purgatory. But if anybody wants to fly it with 5 motors, I also have the center ring kit that can convert the standard 1/200th Saturn V for 5 C motors that fit through the plastic motor shells. It's pretty cool. This is a picture from 3 or 4 years ago. One thing I've also been selling for years is decals, and Randy also has, I'm going to pop these up on his website. I have the classic EAC, which kind of is a warm spot in my heart from anybody who's an old born again Rocketeer. I have generic decals like hatches and screw heads, and I have the standard NASA ball. And then I also have a pack of sci-fi decals for anybody making a scratch built rocket. So those are floating around on Randy's site as well. And then I found 4 or 5 of the kit supplies in my basement. If anybody is interested for the old Herman Oberth, which is an extremely popular and sturdy model, it flies on 12 D motors and it has a great plume, and it replicates the 1927 silent movie Woman in the Moon. It's a pretty cool kit. Weighs 3 pounds because it has to fly straight and doesn't have any extra fins, but it's a great little kit. Coming soon are some kits I've been working on for a while. I did fly a 2001 Discovery model about 3.5 feet long a few years ago, and I do have all the parts. I think I might sell some of those. I've worked this year, on the famous, a great classic movie, if anybody hasn't seen it, Robinson Crusoe on Mars, 1966. Basically, it was designed around Gemini space capsules and a Mars probe. And so Fantastic Plastic, if you know that name, made a plastic model last year. And I said, I know I could make that fly. So I upgraded it to this size and have flown this kit and getting ready to produce that this year. And I also have a soft spot in my heart for the Nova, which historically was actually designed before the Saturn V. This is for direct descent to the moon. And it had 9 F1 engines on the bottom. And I've been working on this model kit here for a while, and I hope to have that up this year. Back to the old standby. We've had the N1 reference kit book coming out with our Russian friends and Jack Haggerty and Nick Stevens in London. The original one was 2011, 2013, sold out almost instantly. We spent 3 years making the new version, and we had humongous special access to RKK Encyclopedia, of which there's only 3 of them, we've been told. And also Charles P. Vick, the legendary image analyst, called and he said, look, I'm 85, I'm going to die. Will you please publish this stuff? And so I added 150 pages of newly released CIA documents that he's had stashed for quite a while. So the new book came out to be 700 pages with all that information. And Amazon insisted that it be split into part 1 and 2 because the spine would crack. So basically, it's only 2 parts because of the spine constraints. Over the last year or so, I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and listen to some people and actually make the new abridged version, which has none of the historical documents that we've gained over the years and just kept the new, absolutely updated measurements from Alex in Moscow and St. Petersburg. And so the new version is going to be out next month for about half the price. It has all the new information and everything, but it just doesn't have the extra 300 pages of voluminous RKK encyclopedia material. So it's still exact information anybody wants to make a model. And so that'll be out very soon. Otherwise, like I said, I got my stuff on eBay and at Randy's. Anybody have any questions for me?
Okay.
Bob?
Okay. I think we're okay. There we go. Okay. Well, thank you, Matt.
Okay.
You
Thanks,
got it.
everybody. Really appreciate being on it.
All right. Let's move right along and we'll go from one Matt to another Matt. Is Matt Steele out there?
I didn't speak too fast. You did. Perfect. All right. Hey, that's why I wanted PowerPoint, man. Yeah, laid out. And you helped a lot, Randy. Thank you.
Yeah, it went smooth.
Getting it cut down.
Hey, guys, your mic's open.
Oh, hey, that was great, Randy.
Thanks, Matt.
There we go. Okay. Not seeing him. Okay, well, we'll come back to Matt Steele. There you are, Matt. Can't hear you.
Matt, you're muted.
Hang on.
I'm not.
Make you a co-host here.
He's not. Something's up with his mic. We're not hearing you, Matt.
Let's see.
Bob, go ahead and go to the next person and we'll
cycle back.
Yeah, Matt can work on it.
Okay, cycle back. Okay, hang on. There we are. Tim Van Milligan, are you there, sir?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I got a video if you could make me a presenter.
Give me a moment here. There you go.
So,
and where'd it go?
okay,
ahead,
so
Tim.
I'm gonna show a video, and hopefully the sound will come through. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Do we have sound?
Not hearing any sound.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to talk over it then. So this is I gotta turn my earphones down because I'm hearing double. Okay, so this kind of gives you an introduction on Apogee. Since last year, we did 12 new kits, which was pretty incredible for us. That was our big goal, and the first one was a quick draw and the ZEP level 2. It's just flying through these things so fast here. This is the Kronos, and then we finished up the year with the Hermes, and then the final one was the Catalyst. We also did an update to our frequent flyer program because it was getting a little bit of old. We did this so that we could help, kind of spark new purchases. And so we were giving out DVDs in the past, so now we've upgraded it. But we really wanted to recognize our VIRs, which are very important Rocketeers, and these are our customers that have ordered a lot from us. So they'll have special perks in the new VIR program. Also last year, we did 26 Peak of Flight newsletters. If you're not a subscriber, you're missing out a lot. We do plans, we do how-to articles, and so much more. And this year, we're up to issue number 614 right now. We've been doing it since 2000. And speaking of plans, in the newsletter, there were 8 plans that we did this past year. The Minotaur was the first one, Euler's Revenge, the Eiffel Tower, the Escape Velocity, Annularity, the Rear Eject Fat Band, the Jack-o'-lantern, and the Trifid, which was the last one. Then we also did something crazy. I wanted to do a tool of the month. So every month there was a new tool that we sold at a reduced or free, depending on how much you ordered. And then hopefully you took advantage of this because we're not going to repeat it. It was a lot of work trying to find all these tools. Okay, we have coming up this year, our first new kit will be the High Rock. The High Rock is a scale model. It's about a 1/14 scale. It was developed in the 1940s as an early ICBM, and it's basically based off of a V2, so it has a very V2 shape, plastic nose cone, plastic boat tail, balsa wood fins, flies on a 29 millimeter motor. So that will be our first one, and that should be out pretty soon. We're also going to plan, we don't know what our schedule is going to look like, and what we're hoping to do is to have you give some input on what we should be doing this year, so we can, what should we work on next? So should we work on a Nike Hercules? We've been building this in the past. There's a little QR code up in the corner, and if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to SurveyMonkey that will allow you to vote on this. The next one is a large helicopter, or we could do an upscale of the TTV or something very similar to allow you to test electronics. And then if you have something that you'd like us to work on, you could also put that in there. And then finally, we're going to be releasing RockSim version 11 pretty soon. One of the cool things is that you can now do airfoiled fins and you can adjust the shape. The cool thing about it is you can actually export these out to a 3D printer. Airfoil fins are really hard to make, even in CAD software. So this will allow you to generate an airfoil fin very quick so that you can, like I said, print it out and have a lot of fun with it. So 2023 was a great year, and we do appreciate all of our customers and, and visiting our website. And, it's just been a great year, and we've got so much more planned for 2024. So I guess, is there any questions?
Any questions for Tim? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Tim.
All right. One question for Tim.
Sure.
The Draco. That looks
Sure.
awfully intimidating. Does that look really
It's
hard to build or not?
No, it is a skill level 5 kit, but there's so much laser cutting involved. And then secondly, I also did an entire video series on building it. So if you can watch the video series and just follow along as I'm doing the steps, you'll gain the confidence to be able to assemble it and fly it. It's a great kit. When you pick it up.
And the mechanism is pretty reliable.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's as soon as the booster section ejects, it's one of those things that the wings are actually geared. So when one moves, the other one has to go with it.
Okay. Cool.
It's pretty ingenious.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tim. All right. Matt Steele, got your microphone back?
Let's see. Does that work now?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
We
Okay.
got you.
So I will need share screen as well.
Give me one moment.
Okay.
All right. You're good to go.
Okay. Let's see. Let's hope this works. Do you see it?
Yes.
We do.
Okay. So a couple of things for North Coast this year. I had a lot of projects. Of course, I had a couple of things going on, like the World Championships, that kind of stalled development over the first half of the year. And then, unfortunately, Mike Nowak, who was doing all my laser cutting and 3D printing, got very, very ill and ended up spending a considerable amount of time in the hospital. He's better now, but it forced me to spend most of the last half of the year finding new sources for laser cutting and 3D printing. Got all the laser cutting reconfigured, still working on the 3D printing. So that kind of put product development in the background. But I did fly the prototype of the North Coast SLS kit at the World Championships and placed very well, 6th place overall, and that led to a team gold medal. So the model that I will be making available will be very similar to this. And I'll talk about it in a little bit more here as we go, but that's kind of the idea. So a couple of things. The LaunchMaster launch controller that I put out's been very, very popular, but I just implemented before Christmas a new upgrade to switch it to LiPos as opposed to NiCads. And the fun part about that is that it actually feels a little bit lighter, but it's the same size. So catalog on-site catalog, those upgrades will go on tomorrow, but I've got that ready to go. It's been if you're looking for a heavy duty launch controller, that's the one.
George,
is that an upgrade to an existing LaunchMaster, or are you gonna have to get a whole new one?
It's an upgrade. I mean, you have to get a whole new one. If you have the
Okay.
old one, the new one is not compatible.
Okay.
So the parts are different. Secondly, the long-awaited 4-inch kits are coming. So I have the Phantom 4000 pretty much ready to go. It'll be a $99 kit. I'm still not quoting an actual delivery time, but I do have all the parts on hand, and that one is coming, and that'll be the first of a number of 4-inch kits I'm going to do for North Coast as well. The interesting thing about this and all the 4-inch kits is that I've actually gone and developed a Gorilla Lock fin lock mechanism into them, so that it's not only through the wall, but the fins are anchored into the body tube in an aft coupler so that they don't pop out. Part of the reason I developed this is I was flying my FAI TARC egg lofter, which is called S2P. And I got tired of popping the fins out of it with the through the wall. So I went ahead and developed this method. And on the last model I had, I made 28 flights without popping the fins on it. So that'll be incorporated in all the 4-inch kits, and eventually we'll migrate into the 2.6-inch kits as well. Then also comes back the Big Archer. And I don't know if that's going to be the final name, XXL. I'm still playing with it. I have the prototype here. The only thing is I think I'm going to have to get the one of the tube couplers remade because I'm not happy with the fit of the ones I've got. So, but that's coming as well. And that really takes me back to the original days of North Coast Rocketry when we were doing kits. By the way, this is the 40th anniversary of the year when North Coast was actually incorporated. We didn't do kits in 1984, but Chris Pearson and I bought a bunch of tubes thinking that we could go make some good money by reselling them. And that was the original start, but that was 40 years ago. Space Launch System is coming. I did the artwork for this back when there was funny things on the SRMs. The kit won't have that, so I have to update the artwork, but that tells you how long this has been in work. This is, like I say, the fascinating part about this is you can see that the artwork is kind of blasé on the actual artwork here and like that. I actually went to the customer community and said, what should I do? Should I do decals? I had a prototype I painted orange and I wasn't real happy with that. And what we ended up with is very detailed vinyl wraps on both the main core, the nose section, and the SRMs. And the effect is just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not really good with paint at all. This was actually fun to go do. I think you'll find it be fun as well. Star Launch 123 is a rocket that goes up and then drops 3 sci-fi gliders off and comes back. The interesting thing about this model is when I was doing the test flying, usually I can get away with me and somebody else, but I had to do this at one of the UROC club launches because with 4 pieces coming down, it takes a lot of eyes. But it's a really fun model that'll be coming out later this year. And then Exos is on the drawing boards, and I have all the parts. I just haven't completely finished it. But this uses the same bottom half as the small Argo D4 Javelin that I offer. This is a variation. It was actually a real sounding rocket. So this one is coming as well for those who didn't want to buy the Argo or who are looking for something to supplement. USMX 2100 is just another large fun sport model that I had out there that's coming as well. This one will have both the forward and aft fins are slotted for robustness. So this is looks like a good high flying model. Then 2 other things. I'm going to be offering bundles with all my kits starting early this spring, where if you want the parachute, you want rail guides, or you want motor retention, you'll be able to purchase those as part of a bundled deal along with the kits. And the beauty of that is I think you'll be able to tailor what you want, what you need, and what you have at home to go do that. The rail guides will be conformal to the tubes that go with it. And the screw-on motor retainer is similar to the Estes type. And then I'm upgrading the Megastand 29. I probably will do the 24 after this, but I tried to give it a little more spacey look, so it now has kind of a fake nozzle on the bottom. That'll be released in about another 2 weeks. I'm just tweaking the final part of the file like that. And of course, with all this sort of products, the bad news is some of the stuff has got to go for me to make room. So effective immediately, the Night Fighter and the SR-99 Hyper Swift are discontinued. I have some in stock. My dealers Apogee and E-Rockets also have some in stock, but when they're gone, they're gone. So that's pretty much what I have, Bob.
Okay. All right, Matt. Thank you, Matt. We're gonna move along, folks, because we're getting close to running out of time here. So give me a second here. Okay. Let's see, is Heidi out there somewhere? I gotta find her. There we are. Okay, I've got Heidi set as a co-host if she's out there.
She probably got caught in the limit.
Oh dear.
Who did? The gal that's supposed to talk?
Todd, you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, trying to find a Heidi. I think I saw a note from that Mallory said she was back in.
Heidi's on. She
Yeah,
shows up.
it looks like she's having some IT issues. Sorry, this is Mallory. Maybe we can go to the next one and see if she can fix them.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sure. Okay. Let me see here where we are. Okay. Let's go over to Chris Irving and Egg Timer Rocketry. Are you out there, Chris?
I am.
All right.
I don't know. Do you see me?
I see you.
I don't see me.
Hang on a second here.
That's weird.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a co-host. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I see you. I made you a co-host. You can proceed.
I don't see myself in the video. Oh, they're in. Okay. That's really weird.
Welcome.
I do the speaker and I see you. If I go to gallery, I see me. All right. I'll just do it from this little bitty gallery picture. Okay. My name is Chris Irving. I'm from Egg Timer Rocketry. If you haven't heard of Egg Timer Rocketry before, we've been in business for about 13 years. We make electronics for hobby rocketry. We have sold thousands and thousands of altimeters and also GPS tracking devices. We sell all over the world. College buys a lot to colleges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Our main focus has been on systems that have deployment altimeters built in, deployment capability. Of the 6 altimeters we have, 5 of them have deployment capability. One thing we get asked a lot is, what rocket should I start my dual deployment journey with? And I get that at least 2 or 3 times a month. And I look back at what's on the market, and there's a gap in the market. There really isn't a starting dual deployment system that's 100% complete. And by 100% complete, I mean that not only do you get the rocket and the hardware and the parachutes and everything you need, but you also get the electronics and whatever else you need to basically make it a complete system. So we basically said, well, this sounds like something that we could do. So I've been partnering together with some of my buddies. Balsa Machining is one. Top Flight Parachutes is another. And we put together this. And hopefully you can see this. This is tentatively, I call this the Easy DD. It's a 3-inch cardboard and plywood rocket with a 29mm motor mount. It comes with rail buttons. It comes with the Z type motor retainer, plastic nose cone, 2 top flight parachutes. This is going to go for $100 complete with the electronics. So the way this works, it breaks in 2 places. The drogue brake is here. This pops out, and then boom, you get a drogue. Tentatively, it's going to be a 12-inch top flight chute, and there's going to be a 10-foot Kevlar shock cord. On the top for the main, pops at the nose, comes out 24 or 30-inch top flight chute. I haven't been able to figure out which one I'm going to use yet. But it will come with parachutes. It will come with all the hardware. The AV bay is pretty much a standard AV bay. There's a little hole here to access a switch, and I'll tell you about that in a second. There's 4 little plastic body nuts that hold the tube onto the AV bay. So I'm going to pop them off. They're going all over the place, and my cat is chasing them. This comes off, and this is your AV bay. So you'll notice terminal block here, charge well here. This is a 1.5 grams charge well. With the E-match, it brings it down to about 1.25 grams, which is more than adequate for this. The no metal hardware. We're using a little Kevlar loop for the shock cords to attach to. On the front end, there's wing nuts. So no hardware needed to take the thing apart. Just take and spin these guys off. Look at that. They're more fun to put on actually, because you can spin them and they go like, you know, the wheels on an old-time sports car. This comes off. Now I don't have this currently connected on this end, but this pulls out. This is the sled that it comes with. It's a plywood sled. It uses a 9-volt battery. And those of you who know me well know that I am generally averse to using 9-volt batteries. But in this case, it works okay. And the thing with 9-volt batteries, of course, you can get them easily and they're cheap. The altimeter here is a brand new design. This is an all-through hole design. So there is no surface mount here. As you know, everything we make is a kit, so you have to solder it together. So we wanted to make this as easy as possible to put together. The difference between that, this is basically a through-hole version of our 8-timer Quark, which is our basic $20 dual deployment computer. This is what a Quark looks like. So you can see the Quark is a little tiny thing. It's also a lot harder to build. So we elected to make this as easy as possible. It's all through-hole parts, and there's no settings on it. It pops the nose off at apogee. It pops the main chute at 500 feet. The cool thing about this guy is that it has an onboard electronic switch. So there's a little hole in the body tube that I showed you, and you'll actually just take a little piece of doweling and poke it in the hole to turn off the switch. It presses that little button, and then it starts going, and it's going to make a whole bunch of beeps like every other altimeter does. So you tap it to turn it on. And the cool thing about this is if I tap it again, you know what it's going to do? Nothing. We want that. That's an anti-bounce thing. So if the switch bounces in flight, it is not going to shut off. You have to hold the button down for about 5 or 6 seconds before it will shut off. There you go. So it is not going to shut off in flight. The other cool thing about this guy is it incorporates a feature that many of our other altimeters have. And that's that we switch both ends of the igniter. So those of you who are familiar with other altimeters know that in general, one leg of the battery is connected directly to the igniter, that your e-match, and the other leg of the e-match is what is switched. We switch both of them.
Too thin. I can't do anymore.
So
Can't get.
basically the e-match is completely dead. There is like 200 microamps of current going through it for continuity.
Nothing. I'm talking to myself.
So, somebody's talking over me, by the way.
Yep.
Can you? I'm hoping you guys are actually hearing me.
Yeah, we're hearing you talk.
Okay, good.
You got a hot
Because
mic.
I heard somebody else talking. I was like, uh-oh, you know, I don't want to repeat this over. We switch both legs of the e-match for ground safety. Essentially, there is an electronic switch built into this that turns off the deployment power until the rocket is in flight and launch has been detected and the first deployment event is detected. So on the ground, it is very, very, very safe. It is probably the safest configuration out there. We have that on some of our other altimeters too, on the Quantum, the Proton, and the Quasar. Those are the Wi-Fi enabled altimeters too, which if you want to find out about them, you can go on our website. They're pretty cool too.
And the name on this product again
Okay,
is?
George. Folks, let's
Anyway,
not break in.
This is what we're working on, and we expect to be sourcing this hopefully sometime this spring. And
Okay.
again, the whole package with the electronics, everything ready to go, $100.
Sounds nice. All right. Anything else there, Chris?
It's all for now.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. Did we finally get Heidi back?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Oh, there you are. Welcome.
Thank you. I got kicked out, but I'm back in. Thank you for going ahead of me. I apologize. We have some IT problems going on here. I'm new to this industry and I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Heidi Muckenthaler. I'm the VP General Manager at Estes Rockets here in beautiful Colorado. Had quite a dumping of snow today. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that any questions that you have, if you could put them in the chat. I have Mallory Langford, the president of the company, online, and she will try to answer as many questions during the presentation as we can, and even afterward, we'll reach back out. And I wanted to start sharing my screen.
Give me just a second.
Yep. Okay.
And you are in.
Man. Okay.
Oops. Lost your picture though.
Where did I go?
Ah, there we go. Your shared screen is starting.
Well, that is interesting.
There we go. Your screen is up. Your share screen is up.
I'm sure. Oh, okay.
Oops. No.
My Wi-Fi is having trouble, so I apologize. Now?
Lost the picture. Okay, your screen sharing should be working.
Do you have Bob, if you can hear me?
Yeah,
do
I hear
you,
you.
if you might have security settings within your computer that's not allowing it to port that shared screen to Zoom, you might want to check those settings on the presenter's computer. So there's going to be some security settings on there that are not going out. There we go.
There we
Perfect.
go. Yeah, that's good.
You can
Great.
talk through the slides.
Then just go ahead and turn that to slideshow.
We're not hearing Heidi.
No.
Bottom
Heidi,
lower
check your
right.
mute.
Do I need to be doing something, Todd?
No, no, we're
Okay.
just waiting. We're just waiting for Heidi. Just so you know, Heidi, we're not able to hear you at this time. Bob, would you like to move to another presenter and we'll come back to Heidi?
Yeah, we can do that. Sorry, Heidi. We'll be back. We'll be back. Okay, let's move over to, let's see, how do we get out of her screen here?
She'll have to stop. There we go.
There you go. Okay. All right. Try again here. Okay. Let's go over. Hey, Frank Burke, are you out there somewhere, Frank?
I am.
Welcome.
Hey there. Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm Frank Burke with Dinosaur Rocketry. That's DYNASOAR, like dynamic soaring. And I've been specifically focusing on radio control rocket glider kits for about the last 10 years. And I'll show you the kits I currently have in the lineup. My website's got everything on it on the main page. You can order the kits. I also carry the 24mm Aerotech long burn E6 reloads and the 18mm D2.3s. And I've got the best prices on those and the 24mm cases to try and encourage people to get started and give this a try. So my kits are very simple to build. They use a special extruded polystyrene foam called Depron, which is only available from one source in Germany, and here in the US, it's got a lot of attributes that make it a lot better than the typical cheap foam board stuff. The kits go together very easily. They only take about an hour and a half to put a kit together, including radio installation. Most of the kits don't require any painting at all because the tubes are in the white, the cones are in the white, and the foam is all white. The foam's waterproof. So you don't need to paint them. A couple of kits like the X15 and maybe my F14 you would want to paint because those were originally a specific color. The kits don't come with decals, but I've worked with Sticker Shock to have designs that fit the kits. And a lot of people want to do their own thing now. They have Cricut cutters or they want a lot of different varieties. So I've worked with Sticker Shock to have some options that fit my kits, and those are all linked in the instructions. All the instructions are online, complete with build photos and also flight videos to show you how they fly. If you go on the website and click on any of the kit photos, that'll take you to the instruction page. You can see how they go together and click on the flight video. I've got about 650 videos on YouTube of rocket glider flights, so you can go down that rabbit hole if you really want to. They all come with rail buttons, so these all launched vertically off of a standard 1010 rail to make it simple. You don't need a special pad or launch them at an angle or have extra dowels or anything like that. They just launch vertically. They boost, and then the motors are in the tail of the model. Since these are all based on kind of rocket plane designs, not a pod and boom type standard S8 sailplane type design. These have the motors in the tail, so as the motor burns, it gets nose heavy, so you need a little bit of up trim for glide. So once the motor burns out, you level the model out and hit a switch on your radio, and that gives you a little pre-programmed up trim. And then you're just steering it around. These have very, very light wing loadings. So they're very much like a park flyer. They all go together with only foam safe CA super glue and accelerator, which is another reason why they go together very quick. So I'll show you this. This is probably our most popular kit. This is the Aurora Clipper. This is about 32 inches long and about a 22-inch wingspan. It's a nice kind of SST styled generic model. This weighs about 8.5 ounces, ready to fly with the motor. So this is under the FAA drone pilot registration requirements. So you would not need to register with the FAA to fly this. If you want to talk about the rabbit hole of real ID or any of that kind of stuff, that's a separate matter, but this is under the weight limit for having to register yourself as a drone pilot and put your number on the model. We also can show you, here's the same model, but with some nice TWA decals that Sticker Shock carries that have the windows and everything. These go on really easily. They just press onto the model, and I just use a warm hair dryer setting. Here's Pan Am for you old timers or guys that like 2001: A Space Odyssey. And you just heat those up with a hair dryer and press them into the model, and they adhere really well to the foam surfaces, and they're real easy to do, so no scanning required. Those are very easy to put together. And here's another one. This is the Orbital Starliner. If that looks familiar, that's because basically this was a tribute to the piggyback glider from the Orbital Transport Kit. But this one is a standalone model. You don't need a booster, and it just flies on its own. I've designed the decals to be very similar to the original model. This is a BT-80, so this is a 2.6 inch diameter, about the same dimensions as those smaller ones, which are BT-60. But again, very, very simple to go together. They just use simple Elevon controls on the tail. So just 2 servos mounted inset into the fuselage, and simple receiver in the front, and the nose cone just has a little bit of Velcro in there. This uses a single 1S battery, goes straight into the receiver, and it just Velcros into the nose. So you just plug it in for on and take the nose cone off and take it off for when you're done. And then for those who a little more experienced builders, this is my 1/21st scale X-15. So this is also BT-80 based, and this has a 14-inch wingspan, and this one is also under the weight limit for drone registration. This also uses just 2 servos for control. It also has rail buttons on the side. These all again use the 24mm E6 motors, and these really scoot. These this, you know, it's a small model. It's black. It's easy to lose orientation, so you need to be a fairly proficient pilot to fly this. It does fly extremely well for an X-15. You'll get about 1:15 of glide time out of this, which is pretty outstanding for an X-15 radio control rocket powered model. This particular one has over 100 flights on it. This is tail number 70. So this is one of the models that I used when I did my 199 flights last year, doing the exact number of flights on each tail number for each of the original models that flew on the X-15s. I did an article in Sport Rocketry, and so this is one of the ones that was featured in that one. So it's a nice kit. It's a little more complicated in the construction, still fairly simple, but this is a real nice flying kit. And then so last year the post office changed their shipping boxes in terms of what they charged for oversized packages, and several of my kits used a 24-inch box, and they were designed for that, and I had to go down to a 20-inch box. And so many of the kits that I was making, I wasn't able to continue making because they need to be completely redesigned, since I use large, simple parts for these. They're not little tiny fiddly parts. And so I've been slowly working through redesigning things. And this is one that I just started this morning and finished it. This is an F14 model. This is modified from the one I used to make a couple of years ago. Also BT60 based, but it's got full like intakes on the bottom. Everything's enclosed. The back end's open because it doesn't need to be closed up. But this one again is about 32 inches long, and this one has about a 19-inch wingspan, and so the wings are swept, and it comes with a 3-view that you can use a Sharpie marker to put some panel lines on it to differentiate. I've got little splits here in the wingtips, so you can it looks more like the wings are folded when the model is all painted and decaled out. And so I'm working on that one right now. I've also got kind of a MiG looking jet fighter that I've finished and flown. I'm just trying to see if there's enough interest out there before I bother with making instructions and everything. But this F14 I probably will go ahead and kit that one. This one's just about 9 ounces ready to fly, again with the E6 motor. So this one will really scoot and has a pretty light wing loading. So check out the website if you're already a comfortable RC pilot and can handle an aileron equipped model that flies about 50 or 60 miles an hour. That's about how fast they boost, and you'd be perfectly flying one of these. Otherwise, you need to get some trainer time, like Josh had said earlier, and then transition to these rocket gliders. But it's a nice combination, merging 2 hobbies. It's great for school demos because you don't need a big field. You can land them at your feet. You land them, you just stick another motor in, and they're ready to go. You don't have to pack any chutes. They're a little bit something different, and it kind of merges 2 interesting hobbies into one. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Frank. We're gonna move right along here. Todd, did we get Heidi back? No. Okay.
So guys, this is Mallory. I can pinch hit for her if that's all right.
That's fine with me, Mallory. Let me find you here. There you are. Okay. Okay, Mallory, go ahead.
Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, well, Zoom is going to make me restart to be able to share my screen. I am so sorry about this, guys. Do you want to go to the next person and then I will restart Zoom and we'll be ready to go.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. You're welcome. Okay. A first timer representing Mad Cow Rocketry, Fred Radford. Are you there, Fred?
Yes. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Was thinking we were going to be last because I'm in Palo Alto, California, and I know Gary's a state over in Utah, but happy to kick it off if you want to enable host mode so I can share a screen.
Yeah, give me just a second here. Gotta find you. Are you on? You're under rocket supplies. Okay.
Oh yeah, let me change that. Sorry.
There you go. Okay, you should be able now to share screen.
Okay. There we go. Let's do the share screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. It's still saying it's disabled for me, unfortunately.
Hang on. Okay, now you went to Fred. Hang on. Let's change that. No problem here. Do I see you? Let's see. There are rocket supplies. And you are, no, you've got code. Yeah, you should be able to share screen.
Okay, it's saying host disabled participant screen share. I can do it without the slides though. It's not a big presentation, and I know we were supposed to end at 7, so if we want to
No.
we'll just do it. So thanks so much for inviting us. And my name is Fred Radford. I'm a new part of Mad Cow, and this can be a little bit different conversation. We're not going to necessarily go and show a lot of new products coming up. Really would like to submit to the attendees. Please ask questions about Mad Cow, anecdotes, how to make it better, complaints, anything. Like to get some feedback from the group, especially if there's something you'd like to see Mad Cow produce. Then I'm going to go over the history of Mad Cow a little bit, do a little bit of announcements of what is coming in general terms, and then answer some questions. So that's what the deck would be showing if I was showing a deck. So we're just gonna keep going here. So please submit questions to the chat and we'll go through it. My name's Fred Radford. I've been a Rocketeer for pretty much all my life. I was high power certified in '99, back when Gary was in Las Vegas, and we used to get the motors and go out behind the city there and launch. Currently, I'm the president of lunar.org, which is NAR Section 534 in Northern California. And I do ARC and SLI mentoring, as well as teach STEAM rocketry classes and several other projects, rocketry projects. So this is just one of the things I do. A little bit of history, if the attendees are not familiar with Mad Cow, founded in 2006, so it's 18 years in the hobby. Originally, it was launched in Orange County with the mission to provide Rocketeers with enjoyable modeling experience, so a lot of the modeling side of things. Initial focus was kits that combined simplicity and craftsmanship at the same time. Started out with the 1.9 to 2.6 inch diameter stuff, 12 kits the first year, expanding to 21 kits, and those were all cardboard, and still there's cardboard up to 4 inches. But really, Mad Cow's very well known for starting in 2010 doing fiberglass kits. So some of the best fiberglass kits, in my opinion, out there are the Mad Cow fiberglass kits, from 2.6 inch all the way up to 8 inch, and every once in a while an 11 inch one will show up. In 2016, Michael Klett joined Mike Stoop as the original founder of Mad Cow, and that's when they went ahead and bought Rocketry Warehouse and their line of kits. So that gives Rocketeers the ability to buy a Rocketry Warehouse kit, which is really bare bones, and it lets you reuse your parachutes from other rockets because it doesn't include a parachute, it doesn't include retainers. It's just the key components. So you get a little bit more modeling and crafting experience on it. And today, Mad Cow continues to offer more of a one-stop shop experience for customers for components as well as kits, and really trying to make it an enjoyable experience. So what's kind of coming from Mad Cow's standpoint is we're going to see expanded product lines. Not going to go into too much detail on these, but if you have questions, feel free to ask and we'll talk a little bit. But it's going to be expanding the product lines even further. New inventory, there's going to be large quantities of everything. So the website updates are going to be there. And all of this, the Black Friday orders have been shipped. So the delay there is done. And if anyone is at a college, Mad Cow does accept purchase orders from schools. So you can order it and through your purchasing department and have it shipped before it's paid for, which is always fun for university students. So that's just some of the kinds of things that are going on, and like to get some of the questions that we might have from the audience. So I see one question about Polecat. So the Polecat designs are available, and we will be seeing some of the larger Polecats reproduced and made available pretty soon. And it looks like there's a message or a question for Chris on the plastic rivet things. And I don't see much other. Okay. Oh, the last 5 years, few kits have disappeared and been out of stock for a long time. Strategy for bringing some of those back. The 5.5 inch, yeah, especially some of the otter sizes like 5.5 inch. One of my favorite ones is the Flying Pumpkin, which is also the 5.5 inch with this giant elliptical nose cone on it. And so, yeah, a lot of those are going to be coming back in different versions, but also as like classics coming back. So you'll see some of those, just like the other manufacturers. If you produce all the kits all the time, then it's a lot of inventory, and it's hard to move the turnover on it. So having kits come for a couple of years, just like Estes and Apogee and stuff, you have a kit for a while and retire for a bit. So you'll start seeing some of those comebacks as well. Are you going to continue Aeropack? So Aeropack is off on its own. If you can go to the Aeropack website, we still have all the Aeropack products and everything. You can order them at Mad Cow site. Yes. Other questions you might have about Mad Cow? Oh, fiberglass. Yeah, fiberglass manufacturing is difficult. We do have a current solution in place. Still looking at additional options as well, especially for as I said, the odd size ones like 5.5 inch or the larger size, as well as expanding the nose cone options to different geometries as well. So hopefully that will happen. Probably won't be for like towards the end of the year for getting some of that manufacturing spun up. But yeah, the fiberglass stuff is definitely the most challenging part of the manufacturing.
Okay, Fred.
Okay.
Thank you.
No more questions. Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for participating. Okay. Todd, do we have any luck with either Heidi or Mallory coming back?
I'm back.
Okay. Excellent.
If you can re-add the
Share screen.
Yep.
One moment, please. You are on. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Okay. Thank you all so much for taking the time and staying a little bit late here. It's 10:30 on the East Coast, so I know it is getting late. I wanted to go ahead and share with you all some of the updates that are coming out of Estes. And I know Heidi said I would answer the questions in the chat. I will do that after the presentation. It's a little tough to both present and chat at the same time. So first, I'm sure most of you are aware, but NARAM 65 will be held this year in Pueblo, Colorado, in conjunction with the local NAR organization there. And the event director is Scott Hunsaker, who works with us at Estes. We are working with the NAR to try something new this year, which is a family day on Saturday, August 3rd. So we're really going to try to bring in the local community and engage them in rockets. So if you're in town and you have family or friends who you'd like to invite, this will be a really great opportunity to come and build free rockets, enter giveaways. There's going to be a lot of other great activities arranged for that. And if you're interested in attending, you can definitely check out the NARAM 65 website. We're also going to be hosting some events at the Estes campus. We did some tours last year for NSL that went really well. So we're looking for opportunities to do additional activities on site in Penrose, and just keep an eye out on our website and the NARAM website for additional information about what we're going to be doing on site for NARAM. Before we go on to the new stuff, I just wanted to highlight a few of the recent releases. We have the Starlight that came out this fall. That's currently sold out, but will be coming back in stock in the next few weeks here. So if you didn't get one the first time, It will be coming back in stock, sort of from the vault. Also, I saw a couple questions about Pro Series and if we were going to be continuing the Pro Series line, and we definitely will. The Black Brant 12 and the Great Goblin were new releases in the Pro Series line last year. And we are going to release a number of Pro Series lines coming up this year too, or Pro Series rockets coming up this year too. My favorite Pro Series release, which isn't shown on here, was actually the So Long, which honestly has a great name. And that came from John Boren, who is our phenomenal designer at Estes. That was his sort of working name. He thought that we would never go for it as a real product name. And after we saw it launch, we knew we had to go for that as the real name. And it is true. It does live up to the name on 229mm motors. If you're not flying in a big enough space, that thing is so long. And then all the way on the right here is our sanding bar. Bill Stein and John Boren worked on this sanding bar to make it the perfect sanding bar for Rocketeers. So if you don't have one of those yet and you're building rockets, you are definitely missing out. We are also releasing additional packs of sandpaper for that to get a larger variety of grit, and those will be coming out this spring. So some new stuff that's coming out. These first two are bulk packs, which are largely focused towards our education market. The first is the Cosmic Cargo, and that is a 18mm payloader rocket. So if you're doing any work in the classroom and you want to do experimentation using an altimeter or other sensors, the Cosmic Cargo is a great fit for that. The one on the left here is called the Cosmic Ray. This is a new colored version of what we've called in the past our workshop rocket. This will be available in bulk packs this spring. We believe that this will be the least expensive education rocket on the market. It should be about $5 per rocket if you're buying it through our website with the education discount. And that is really going to help, we think, with outreach. One of the things we've heard a lot from those of you who are very active in the NAR and the NAR outreach is just that it has been expensive. So this is our answer to that is the Cosmic Ray. It's a snap together. We've used it with lots of different skill levels, down to elementary school kids. And it's been a great time and really easy to put together and fly. So we think it's going to be a great education product. A couple of additions to the Pro Series lineup are our Pro Series launch rail. So this is coming out this spring, and the Pro Series parts assortment, which is available now. The launch rail is absolutely perfect for those of you who mentor ARC teams. It's got a trifold telescoping base here, so it really folds up. It's lightweight and portable, but definitely sturdy. We've launched on it up to, all the way through F motors. And I think we've also launched G's on it as well. Very stable. So if you're a mentor for an ARC team, this is a really great product to have. Like I said, that's coming out this spring. And then the parts assortment, this is for those of you who want to get a little creative, build your own rockets, or again, if you're mentoring an ARC team, it's a great step to start building for that. And that one's available now. So coming up this spring, this is the next up in our family of ready to fly models. So this sits right along the Saturn V, the SLS, the Falcon 9. And so now we have a 1 to 200 space shuttle model. This is a really beautiful model. It's coming out this spring. I guess the biggest thing I'll say about this one is that we had our Estes board meeting this past fall, and we flew the rocket for Vern and Trip Barber and John Langford. And John said that this was the best flying Estes shuttle he's ever seen. It's got a really great flight. The shuttle here separates from the booster tank and glides down. It's been like 30-second flights are the norm for this rocket. So it really is a beautiful rocket and a great addition to that product line. And personally, I love the box. I think our art team has done an amazing job with this entire line. So even if you never want to fly it and you just want to sit it on your shelf, that it's a great product for that as well. Or you could get two, one for your shelf and one to fly. Okay. We're also re-releasing the 1969 version of the Saturn V. So this is the 1-to-100 master skill level builder kit. We're updating it to be 29 millimeter as opposed to the 24 millimeter that it had been in the past. And this is one where we really listened to a lot of the feedback we had heard from the community of builders and tried to rectify a lot of the challenging aspects of this build in the new release. So I think that this is really going to be a great kit. It's really going to improve on a lot of the challenges that we've had with it in the past. I can't say it's going to be an easy build after those fixes. It's still definitely going to be a hundreds of hours, but definitely worth it once it's complete. And I wanted to share a few mini kits. These are going to be coming out this summer, and they will fly on our mini engines, our 13 millimeter engines. The mini Bertha and the mini Alpha here are going to be snapped together. So great to put together with the younger folks in your life if you're sharing rocketry with your next generation. And then the mini Arcus is going to be a builder kit version of the sounding rocket, the Arcus sounding rocket, and that's going to be an advanced build. And then the mini Dur-Red Max is going to be a bring back of the mini kit that was out in the 90s. We're bringing it back. It's going to be an intermediate level builder kit. And it'll be a great addition to the entire Dur-Red Max family. So you can build from, the mega all the way down to the micro if you can find all those kits. But this means we will have the mini Red Max, the mini Dur-Red Max, the Dur-Red Max, and the big Dur-Red Max at Estes right now. Okay. I just want to wrap up by saying thank you all so much for your support over the past year and the past 5 years that the Langfords have been engaged with Estes. It's really been so fun to learn about rocketry. I don't come from a rocketry background like the rest of my family, but it's been a really welcoming community. And we're always here and listening to you guys. So if there's anything you'd like to see, please feel free to reach out or put it in the chat. We're definitely wanting to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the community. And thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you, Mallory, for pinch hitting there at the last moment. Okay. All right. Well, sorry to keep you waiting there, Gary. Good to see you again. Yeah, you and Dane had a great tour this afternoon.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. And let me get you to
I'll be
share.
sharing the screen, so
Okay, you're set up to share screen.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Rosenfield with Aerotech RCS Quest, and we're going to get started here. All right, you can see everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, well, 2023 was our very best year by far, and want to thank everybody for that. And if you've been following Facebook, you know we've moved into our new facility. We've also instituted a Southern Utah University and RCS internship program and already hired 3 employees from SUU. And we have plans to hire at least 1 more this year. I'm teaching a solid propellant course at SUU with a lot of motivations. One is to identify new talent there, and we've already hired, looks like 1 will be coming in this summer as an intern, which has been a lot of fun, by the way. Been involved with that. Need to pass on some of these skills to the future. And we've also been asked to participate in a SUU STEM outreach program. We've already provided them with some materials, and we have a good working relationship with SUU. The museum store is nearly ready, and as well as the museum itself, we've been working on that. We will be announcing a grand opening here pretty soon. I mean, it'll be probably in the June timeframe, but we want to make the announcement of when it will be in case people want to travel to see us and to be there. So yeah, late spring. And that museum is going to be a work in process. We've received a lot of artifacts and information from people. We're continually working on that. We expect more to come in mid-spring. Want to give you an update and recap on the limited quantity shipping. In September 2023, we determined and confirmed with the US DOT that it was possible to ship limited quantities of certain size rocket motors and reload kits under the DOT's limited quantity regulations when using the 7887 flammable solid special permit. And this is restricted to motors and reloads containing no more than 62.5 grams of propellant, either per motor or propellant grain. And while there's some packaging stipulations, these products can be shipped FedEx and UPS without any hazmat fees or paperwork whatsoever. And this has been saving customers big dollars. And I just love it when I see these boxes going out every day with this new label on them. So once we confirmed this it was either late September, early October, Aerotech RCS shared this information with our dealers, distributors, and the public. So any manufacturer, any dealer that was shipping model rockets or even the high power rockets that are under this covered under this could use this provision. So we consider this the biggest regulatory news for the hobby since the ATF lawsuit was won, some 15 years ago. So let's do a recap of last year. Even though the F-41 was probably, I think we might have announced it 2 years ago, we had to put that on hold because we ran into some problems with nozzle erosion. So the motor was actually redesigned with a phenolic nozzle insert. And so here we are at 46 Newton seconds, about a 1.1 second burn time, 30 grams propellant weight. So this is shippable either under the limited quantity or USPS. 62 grams total weight, 5, 8, and 11 second delays. It's almost 93% of the total impulse of an F-15 black powder motor, but it's only 60% of the weight of that motor. It is TRA certified and California Fire Marshal approved, and it's $28.99 retail for a complete 2-pack. That includes initiators, wadding, and Q-picks. And that's one of the best values in mid-power rocketry right now. Then we rounded out the classic Enerjet motor line with the E24. That's a nearly full E-motor, 4, 7, and 10 second delays. Again, certified and California approved, $41.99 MSRP for the 2-pack. It also 18.4 grams of propellant, so it's shippable, hazmat free. Then the F-67, that's pretty close to a full F. Unfortunately, it is over the propellant weight limit for USPS. However, it can ship hazmat free under the new special provisions, limited quantity provisions of the new protocol, and that's $49.99 MSRP for a 2-pack. That includes initiators. All three of these motors, the classic Enerjets use are offered in the same delays as the original ones back in 1971. When we do these releases, on the new products, we always introduce some new products that are not discussed here because they're developed during the year after NARCon and so on. So the H14 was one of those. This came about because we ended up having some longer cases than the H13 8-inch casing. We got some 9-inch casings. So we decided to see how far we could push this end burner concept. And so we got 240 Newton seconds out of this, burns for a little over 18 seconds. It's 134 grams of propellant. It's a plug motor, and there's a number of people that are trying to hit record altitudes with H motors. We've seen 17,000 feet plus with the H13. This one, in theory, is capable of over 20,000 feet. So we're real excited to see somebody fly one and break 20,000 feet with an H motor. This is also triply certified and California Fire Marshal approved, $62.99 MSRP. The O5500, that was released last year. It was a redesign of the O5280. We took a radically different approach to the design to increase its reliability, which appears to be holding well. It's the most powerful 98 millimeter motor currently available for consumers at 21,384 Newton seconds. Of course, it's a plug motor, and it is triply certified. However, it's above the total impulse limit for California. So not for consumer sale, but it conceivably could be used under certain circumstances with certain groups, including colleges. That's just under $3,000 MSRP. So some other ones that weren't announced, the M2225 Super White Lightning. This is a good level 3 motor. Look at that flat thrust curve, pretty incredible, pretty high ISP. It's also triply certified, California approved. M motors are allowed under California, so you're good there. And 2.32 second burn time. So this is good for lifting really heavy rockets. And like I said, level 3 if you like. $405.99 retail price. This was one that was kind of developed because there was a need for a near full end motor for the college competitions. So this is also developed in conjunction with a new set of hardware, the 98-2480 hardware, one of the newest hardware sets that we've come out with in 98. We haven't done that in a long time, but that's equivalent to an 8-grain motor. This is over 18,000 Newton seconds, nearly a 5-second burn time. It's very good for large, heavy rockets. And the picture you see down there, if you can see it on the lower right, that's a 1-foot diameter giant upscale Goblin that was flown at LDRS last year in Wisconsin. And that flew to, as I recall, nearly 9,000 feet on that motor. It was very spectacular, very dense white smoke, huge white flame, very loud. This is a real exciting motor. $1,800 retail price. Again, not for consumer sale in California because it's over their M motor limit, but it is triply certified. And the Phaser launch controller. This is the newest launch controller we've come out with in a long time, but it's very nice to hold in your hand. I don't know how many of you tried it, but it's got a nice bright LED warning light and uses a snap top lithium 9-volt battery, although some people can try it with an alkaline, but we recommend the lithium battery just for longevity and quick firing of the initiators, and works with First Fire and other brands of initiators. Got 18 foot of launch cable. That's $26.99 retail. So a lot of people have asked about this. They were alluding to it during the tour. This is our seasonal production plan for 2024. So those of you that want some of those 48 motors that we temporarily put on hold last year, or as I recall, this will be of interest. We're going to offer these motors to all Aerotech and Quest dealers and distributors during the time period between January 30th and ending February 16th. So about 2.5 weeks. So your customers will have about 2.5 weeks to place orders with their dealers for the listed seasonally produced items. And we're not going to take any direct consumer sales of these items. It'll all be through our dealers. And then there'll be a 16 to 20 week fulfillment time. From receipt of order. We'll try to do that faster if we can, but we need to allow that so that we can continue building and shipping our other product. And the response that we receive to this will determine what motors we offer next year. The following year. Okay, now let's talk about 2024, this year's releases. So if you've noticed, we just announced the availability of the 06000. This is a very special motor. We recognize not everybody's going to be able to afford this or be able to use this, but this is, we've identified a potential need for, especially for college group projects and very large high altitude rockets. This is our first 6-inch or 152 millimeter diameter motor. It's nearly 40,000 Newton seconds total impulse, burns for just under 7 seconds, 22 kilograms of propellant with 31.5 kilograms total weight, no smoke, just plugged. It should be capable of up to about 100,000 feet in a small lightweight rocket. It is NAR certified, and but not for consumer sale in California. Holds a just under $10,000 price tag, and actually, we just announced the availability and shipping, so that's a little behind the times. You can see the grain design is the first for us is some people call it a dog bone. I like to call it a wagon wheel, 4-point wagon wheel. And if you look at the thrust curve, it yields a very nice flat thrust curve and a characteristic tail off of these type of grain designs. So this was a really cool motor to build, design, and test. Took about a year or so to do that. And the L2795 Super Thunder. You witnessed this motor during the tour. This was the motor that we fired. It is a 2-grain Super Thunder motor in a 3-grain 75 millimeter casing. On our side, it tested at 3130 Newton seconds, about a 1.12 second burn time, 1.4 kilograms propellant, 3.4 kilogram total weight. Great for heavy rockets if you're flying on a small field. You don't want to go too high. Or a booster on a 2-stage rocket. EEE certification and California Fire Marshal approval is pending, so we're still working on it. That's how new this is. And MSRP will be 320, just under 325. And again, we'll announce that in a separate press release as availability. The iLaunch, a lot of people are asking about that. Well, we determined that there were a couple of upgrades we wanted to make to it before we released it, and we wanted to get it right. So we're holding off on the shipping of that until we get all the specifications where we want them. But it will your cell phone will become a launch controller, and we demonstrated this at NSL East. Those of you that were there, the range will be up to 150 feet. The launch box attaches to your launch pad or near your launch pad. There's 6 safety interlock systems, including a removable key switch. You have to use 2 hands and 2 buttons on your phone to operate it, to set it off. And there's a 5-second countdown built in. You have to hold your fingers on those buttons for 5 seconds. And if you remove either hand from either button, it'll reset back to the 5 seconds. So it has to be a very deliberate act to fire a rocket on this. The introductory price will be just under $80, and we're still anticipating mid-spring availability. All right, now, Bob, I know you're waiting for this to come out, and Bob re-engineered this. He's an Enerjet historian, but again, a number of projects, as we go through the year, a number of products end up getting pushed back for various reasons, and we apologize for that. But again, we want to make sure everything's done correctly, and so we're planning on bringing this out this spring. It'll be a $30 retail price. It'll fly on the E-24, the F-20, F-52, the F-67 Classic, and other Aerotech motors. And then just going through, here's some more motors that we talked about last year. I'm not going to go through all of them in detail. The J1265 Super Thunder, that's going to be a single-use motor. We're still working on delivering that. The K62, that's the KN burner in 54 millimeter. We're still working on that one. And the N1100 and the N1975 White Lightning on that in that case. These are analogs of the N1000 and the N2000 RMS reload kits. So again, they'll be these will be not for consumer sale in California, but they're actually already EEE certified. So it's just a matter of producing them and releasing them. And of course, there's got to be one more thing, right? One more thing. What's one of the, ask yourself, what is the most beloved 18 millimeter black powder motor that everybody would like to see back? What could it be, right? B14.
Oh.
So yes, the B14, it's a fantastic little motor, Blue Thunder propellant. We had to use, on this one, we're using a phenolic nozzle insert, just like the F41. We got it as close as we could. It's going to be probably pretty close to 4.8 Newton seconds, maybe a little bit more. 0.4 second burn time. Obviously, a light 2.3 grams of propellant. 17.8 grams total weight. That's for the 7-second delay. We're going to release it in 3, 5, and 7-second delays. EEE certification is pending. And it'll be $11.99 MSRP for a 2-pack. That includes the initiators, recovery wadding, and Q-picks. And that's planned for spring of this year availability. So pretty soon, we're pushing this one ahead as quickly as we can. Yeah, and one more thing. See, we're going from one extreme to the other, okay? So we went from B14, what could we do on the other end? The $10,000 plus Aerotech Space Challenge. This is going to be a contest. It's going to be flown during Arliss Express or balls in the Black Rock Desert. And it's not necessarily just this year. It's going to be whenever somebody actually, does this. The goal is to be the first person to fly to 100 kilometers or 62 miles above ground level using certified Aerotech high power motors, totaling no more than 40,960 Newton seconds. In other words, the NFPA definition of high power class 2 rocket. So there'll be a $10,000 cash prize from Aerotech, and there will be more from additional sponsors. We've already lined up one. There'll be more, guaranteed. And we're developing 2 nearly full M-class 75 millimeter an RMS and a DMS motor will be designed and certified for upper stage use with the O5500X as a booster. We're projecting that as the ideal combination, but you can use whatever combination of Aerotech motors you want. And we're also going to release some new standard and tail cone flush, in other words, without thrust rings, so the same diameter as the motor casing, 75 millimeter RMS closures. That's to facilitate the staging, so it'll fit in the coupler between the 2 motors. They'll be planned for release soon. So you can be looking for that. We're real excited about this contest. So in summary, limited quantity shipping was big news for the hobby. Our new facility is operational. The museum and the museum store will be opening soon. And we're continuing to design and produce new and innovative model and high power composite propellant rocket motors, from the 18 millimeter B14 to the 152 millimeter O6000. And the Nike Ram and some other classic Enerjet clip kits are planned for this year, and even more great products planned for later. And as usual, I want to thank Dane Bowles, Carl Baumann, Jeremy Nelson, Kyle Anderson, and the entire Aerotech Quest ISP or RCS team for helping to bring these new products to reality. And I truly mean that. And we're having a lot of fun doing all this good stuff. And it's been a great year. And thank you very much. Any questions?
Hey, Gary, a big kudos to you for that shipping thing. That's huge. That's really appreciated.
Thank you.
Gary, one question about your museum store.
Yes.
Retail, you'll sell retail there?
Yes, it'll be retail. We don't want to undersell our dealers.
Oh, okay. But if I'm taking a tour, I can pick something up there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
will see you after NORAM.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we also have a lot of other things, shirts, hats, calendars. We'll have other gift store type stuff. So
I'll pick up my Nike Ram.
all right. Any other questions?
There's a question, Gary, about the RC motors for the rocket motors for the RC airplanes. You mentioned
Yes.
that during the tour. You'll start making those again?
Well, those will be, we'll make those available during the, for the limit, what do you call it? Seasonal availability. So we'll be, like I said, we'll be taking orders for those, between January 20th and I'm sorry, January 30th, and I think it said February 16th.
Is that form available so we can see what's available to ask our dealer for?
We will publish that at that time. So yeah, there'll be something available we'll post it everywhere.
Okay. That it? All right. Thank you, Gary.
All right. Thank you. And thanks for supporting us for these 42 years.
All right, everybody. I think that
a lot.
wraps it up. It's been a long one this time. But my thanks to all the presenters and your patience with our technical issues we may have had. And thank you to everyone who tuned in to view this presentation, and much more VNarCon to come tomorrow. So get some sleep, and we'll get into this tomorrow again. Good night.
Good night.
Todd, I'm going to shut down the recording.